There have been several concerns which have been raised about what happens to Agniveers, the young soldiers recruited under the Agnipath scheme once they leave the armed forces after 4 years. Will they find meaningful employment, gainful employment in the private sector? Joining us now for her views, Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw, the executive chairperson of Biocon. Wonderful to speak to you as usual, ma'am. Are you going to be hiring Agniveers? I think you're on mute. You're on mute.
I certainly believe, Vishnu, that Agniveers will have a distinct advantage in the, the industrial job market because of their army training. I personally believe that I'm very partial to people who come from the army for certain kinds of jobs. So I do believe that they will certainly do very well from this scheme.
And ma'am, how many ex-servicemen have you employed so far?
Well, I can't give you the exact count, but I know that we have in our company at least several, at least if not 50 or 60 or 100 people in our company.
So that's a large number.
Yeah.
And just where would they be employed? I mean, the present ex-servicemen, and where do you see very young Agniveers being employed in your company? What roles and responsibilities do you foresee?
So there are various parts of the, we are a manufacturing company, so we certainly do have, we do see ex-servicemen in administrative jobs, in engineering jobs, in project management jobs. I think there are a number of areas where we use ex-servicemen and we find them very, very good.
That's interesting, ma'am. And it's the sense of discipline which you feel is something that greatly enhances the experience for you as an employer.
It's not just about discipline. It's they are driven by a kind of a very shall I say, process-driven project management that I see is very, very useful for organizations like us. So I think apart from the real discipline, it's also the way they approach management, the way they go about executing on any kind of projects. So I think these are very, very good aspects of army training. And of course, when you look at the present day army training that will go beyond the conventional army training, I'm sure there will be ample opportunities for young people to develop digital skills, computer skills, and of course in engineering and the modern day equipments that are used, which are also extremely digitally oriented. I'm sure they will pick up a lot of skills.
And just off the top of your head, how many Agniveers would you in Biocon be able to employ 4 years later on an annual basis? Or are you planning this on an annual basis?
Of course we will, but I'm just saying it's not about my company, Vishnu. I think you have to look at it in the broader context. How many people will be available in the job market is what you need to look at. Like you just heard, Mr. Anand Mahindra talk about, doing the same thing, and Harsh Goenka followed up by saying that he would follow suit. So I just think India Inc. in general will have a huge, huge need for skilled army trained personnel to carry out a number of jobs. Yeah. And if India Inc. is growing, I think you will need these kind of people.
Yeah. The reason I ask a lot of this is because contrary to what is believed, ex-servicemen have not been very gainfully employed in government jobs. I'm talking about Group A, Group C and Group D jobs, either in banks, the Central Armed Police Forces, the central public sector units and central government departments. By and large, there's been a huge shortfall. There are quotas, but in terms of that quota being filled, it's actually not reached that quota. So for whatever the reasons are, it's not been very gainful for them once they leave. But you believe that the corporate sector can actually step up to the plate and employ them as well?
So, I don't have all these statistics and numbers that you're talking about, and I don't know the reasons why they're not being absorbed into the public system.
Yeah.
But personally, I believe that corporate India has always looked at these people in a very different way. I personally also would recommend that they have a kind of a placement agency to look at all these opportunities. That is one more thing that you can add to the Agnipath scheme, where a placement function could actually ensure that all these people could be well placed, whether it's in the public system or in the corporate system. But I personally believe it's a very innovative reform, and I do believe that young people will hugely benefit from this scheme, and I don't worry about them finding gainful and meaningful job opportunities thereafter.
All right, ma'am. Thank you very much. And it's great to hear that you've already been employing ex-servicemen for a period of years. Thanks, ma'am, very much for sharing that detail with us. Thanks very much indeed.
Thank you.